Right, what's up, guys? So we're back working on Old Blue. Took a couple days off because it has been ungodly hot in North Carolina, and frankly, the air conditioner in my garage just wasn't cutting it. So I got myself a nice big 14,000 BTU air conditioner, and that has made all the difference in the world. So, right now, this garage is an absolute unmitigated disaster. Like, literally have parts like all over the damn place because basically I didn't know what was going on with this car, so I had to do the tear down first before I could really get an idea of what all I needed to go back on it. But thankfully we are finally at the point where stuff can start going back on. So today we're going to start with a new electronic boost controller. The stock units on these came with a 2-port. One of the easiest mods to do, especially before you start tuning, is going to be a 3-port boost controller, just because it's more efficient. It's easier for your tuner to get in there and adjust how much boost that turbo is trying to push. So pretty easy one today, but let's get into it here. Okay, so I got a couple things from our friends at Overtake. One of them has got some World Rally Blue touch-up paint. So this one is the 02C paint code. It's good for just the smaller parts, things like that. I do have quart. I think I got a quart of actual 2-stage for some of the bigger pieces, fenders and things like that. But as far as like the STI fog light covers, what else? Hood scoop, things like that. These little cans are great for stuff like that, just because they're easy to use. A lot less cleanup involved. Check it out if you need to do touch up. I got a new shift boot retainer. They have a real nice piece for that. I haven't decided what shift boot to replace the one that's on there with, but it's pretty grody. So nice little piece there that just goes in, and you clip the shift boot to it. So we'll get to that at some point. But the star of the show today, let's go Art. If you guys haven't seen Art's Outback, I mean, that thing is so pretty. One day I'll have a magnet, man. One day. I think they're looking for FRS 86 BRZ submissions for some of those right now. So if you want to give it a shot, absolutely go ahead and submit on their website. So what do we got here? The little stuff. So they do supply new vacuum hose, which this car desperately needs. You do get your hardware kit. That varies by application. So like if you have a VA, it's going to be like right up in the front of the manifold. This will actually the one for that one just bolts right in, and it doesn't come with a whole lot of hardware because you don't need it. But this one has a nice mounting bracket and the hardware required to get it bolted to the car. Oh, and of course, your 3-port boost controller. Now, your OEM configuration has a vacuum line that runs from the turbo to your wastegate actuator, and then it tees off basically into one of the ports in the boost controller, and then the other port vents back into your turbo inlet. The way that works is, the vacuum reference senses a change. It closes a valve in the boost controller and controls how much boost is actually getting pumped through your intake system by either releasing that pressure into the exhaust or keeping it in there and making your car do fast car things. So the problem with that is your wastegate actuator and your turbo are sharing a line. With a 3-port, you're able to control those independently, and it just gives you a much more zoomed in ability to dial in your boost levels and things like that. So on here, see if you can see this. Maybe each one of these is numbered. So 1, 2, and 3. 2 is going to go to your wastegate actuator. 3 is your turbo. So the front one's your turbo. And then 1 goes back to your turbo inlet. And I'll show you where I'm running that here in a second. Honestly, easiest way I have to always remember that is the highest number goes to your turbo, because we're shooting for big number boost levels. It works, right? Anyway, all right, let's get to throwing this thing on, and I'll kind of walk you through it. All right, so at least on the EJ20, your boost controller is going to sit right back in here. That's the passenger side strut tower. Excuse the mess. So you're just going to need to take off these 2 bolts so you can pull this bracket off here. All right, so we got it off. Here is your OEM unit. 1, 2 ports. So one's going to your turbo and wastegate actuator. The other one is going to your intake manifold. Or, you know what I mean, turbo inlet. We're going to take this whole thing off here. Man, these are ghosty. Gotta love it. Oop. And yes, I know I have a socket laying right there. First of all, I would like some credit for the fact that I've been using this same 10 mil socket for a couple years. Somehow haven't lost it yet. Feel like I should get a prize for that of some sort. All right, so disconnect the sensor from there. Gonna pull your vacuum lines out without knocking the camera over. And there is the old one. All right, so before we get this on there, let's go ahead and get this set up. If you want to reference the old one just to see kind of where things line up, don't just throw it away like I did. So This one is your bracket for the 08 to 21 STI. This is your 02 to 07 WRX, 04, 07 STI. Old blue is a 04. So, don't drop it. So if you hold them next to each other, basically that's pretty much a mirror image right there. So nice thing is this one has 2 threaded holes in the back. These just drop in the front, thread into that plate in the back. What are the odds that I have a appropriately sized Allen wrench just sitting right here? It could happen, right? Never know. Yeah. Okay, well, we might have to do some hunting. This will turn it at least. Gosh, so close. Whatever points I gained on not losing my 10 mil, I 100% lose on keeping track of Allen wrenches, because I am awful at it. Like, absolutely terrible. If you ever want to lose an Allen wrench, just hand it to me. I'm not even kidding. It's a problem. So, cool. We're going to find the red Allen wrench. Be right back. Got it. Just in case you were wondering, it's a 30 seconds, or whatever that is in metric, 2.5, 3, something like that. All right, got those cranked down. Trick, if you're ever trying to get these rubber grommets out of here, got that little line in there, just spray a little bit of a little bit of WD-40 in there. I always use the silicone stuff, but just regular old WD-40 will do. Okay, let that get in there. Move it around. All right, so you got your WD-40 in there. Pull the insert out. Comes right out, despite being super crusty. Clean them up a little bit. And these should work smarter, not harder, folks. Pop the metal grommets back out, install rubber bushings, put grommets back in. Promise it's much easier than I make it look sometimes. All right, so those are on. That's all you really need to get it mounted. So let's go back over to the car and get these installed. Yeah. So much better. Old one, new one. All right, that on there. Get rid of these two so you don't get them confused. Add them to my wayward pile of nuts and bolts. Now, OEM connector pops right in. Easy peasy. So I've already gone ahead and pre-run individual vacuum lines just in anticipation of doing this. I knew I wasn't going to keep the OEM boost controller. So let's see what we got here. This one is my turbo. There. The nice thing is Overtake also supplies you with some new little micro hose clamp thingies. Yes, that is the technical term. So, nice thing about these, they don't have a whole lot of tensile strength, so generally you can just put them on with your fingers. Got one. So this one, just to double check, yep, goes back to wastegate actuator. So we'll pop that one on there. Goes to 2. Like this. Go. Now, the last one is going to run back to the turbo inlet. And so right now, I have this one open still. I'm going to run it right to here. That way I can kind of route everything down and under. Just kind of clean it up a little bit. So let me grab the fittings for that, and we'll get it finished. Right. So from here on out, this isn't going to move. I'm just going to put these back in. I'll actually replace these bolts too because they are gross. This is, I've come to the conclusion that this car is a perfect example of you get what you pay for. This thing was very clearly taken to a pay and spray type paint shop. They basically didn't take off anything when they repainted it. So there is random paint all over the place, which is awesome. Unless you're a little OCD like me, and then it's terrible. Okay, so this is your power steering line. This should be fine to use as a guide. And then I'm just going to run it along the other power steering line down here. So basically, I have it ran down through here and then right up. So it's running, I'm going to zip tie it to that line right there, cross over along the wire harness. Then I'm going to essentially just run it up right here, and it's going to go right now. When a solution is not available, make one. I couldn't find the right 90-degree fitting, so we're just running 3/8 into here, and I'm gonna run it down, and we'll actually gonna do the junction like right here, I think. So yeah, let me grab. I'll do it right about there. All right. So basically just running a vacuum reducer here. This one is not valved, so it basically run any direction. It just connects a larger vacuum line to a smaller vacuum line. They don't have barbs on them, so I always like using a hose clamp on there just to be sure that it doesn't go anywhere on you. So now move you over a little bit. There we go. So now we're gonna run this down here. Yep. Rest of that for later. All right. So I know I said you can do this with your fingers, but I also just kind of felt like using a full-on like IAG hose clamp pliers was a little overkill, but it is certainly more comfortable on the old digits. So that one's gonna go right in there. It's actually a nice good fit. You almost don't need this. All right. So then I will secure this with a hose, with a zip tie right here. Since you have that hard plastic, you might as well use it to your benefit. Oop, that was. You don't need that, right? It's just my breather cover. Oh, good. I'll get that later. So running this down, goes down here, secure it along this line, and then it runs up into your boost controller. And that is pretty much it, you guys. It's super straightforward. Overtake makes it super easy. Absolutely the definition of plug and play. So yeah, we got that in there. Now basically the only other thing I have to do up here is going to be basically clean up some wires. Like they have like this old, I think it was the TGV sensor, very expertly snipped, obviously. So I'm just going to clean up some stuff like that. Get our ground wires back in place, and then basically it's just throw on the intake and the intercooler, and we should be able to start this thing up. As always, guys, hopefully this was helpful for somebody out there. If you liked what you see, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It absolutely motivates me to keep doing this stuff for you guys. Yeah, hopefully the next video is going to be some final touches and firing this bad boy up. Peace.